Welcome into Capper's Cave. I'm your host, Lorenzo da Costa. Welcome back. Welcome in if you're a first-time listener. This is free picks and shit on Capper's Cave, brought to you by Intellect Sports. We got NFL Week 11, College Week 12, Best Bets. And we have the one, the only, Locksmith Larry. Or Larry the Locksmith, whichever you prefer, our SEC connoisseur. We'll see if he's got anything for us. How are you doing? I'm here, man. Good, I'm glad you are. Hopefully, we'll be here next week with Thanksgiving and everything. I'm not sure if we'll have a show, but if we don't, we'll put our picks out on the app or on our website at capperscave.com. So check it out. Last week, dominated 66.66%. We went 6-9. And the week before, we went 60. I'm telling you, we do this every year. We start clicking on all cylinders come mid-late season. And we finish strong. That's what we're going to do. We got some good picks for you. I think we got 8 or 9 this week. Again, more is going to be on the app. Like Maction, man. We've been killing it, Maction, these early games in the week, but we don't put a show out. But we'll put our picks out on the app. We're like 8-2 in the MAC right now. Get the app. It's called Capper's Cave. You get it on iTunes. You get it on Google Play. I don't know really where else they sell apps, but you can get it. So let's get to some news and a little recap, and we'll get into our picks. So what do we got to talk about here? Okay, just a couple notes. Yeah, the Oklahoma State-Oklahoma game, Saturday night. Chilly, rainy weather. Looking at temps around 46 degrees. All right, wind out of the north. Who really gives a shit? About 10 mile an hour, okay? There's an 87% chance of showers, so be sure to monitor the game because this could be a good under. But these two teams are pretty explosive, but again, pay attention to that. So just a little alert there. This Graham Mertz guy, Wisconsin QB, freshman. We've talked about him before. He's just sparked this Wisconsin Badger offense, which, it perfectly complements one of the nation's best defenses right now. They're good. They just shellacked Michigan, 49-11. Now they do have the toughest test probably this year, Northwestern, which Northwestern's playing pretty good ball right now. They're getting 7.5 points at home, so no bet here. It's a lot. I do want to see how good Northwestern really is. It might be a good game to watch. 7.5 is just too much for me for a good home team. Should we mention Harbaugh again? Should we? I don't know. I mean, we do it. We do it every week.
I beg your pardon. Fired.
Should they yet? I don't believe they should. I mean, he should leave probably before he ruins his career. But you know what? He'll be just fine. He'll get a coaching job. NFL, high school, maybe. Excuse me. He'll get it somewhere. So, let's move on. Yeah, man, I just want to say real quick. Yeah, that boy Mertz you're talking about, man. He's a Kansas boy. I mean, man, he's a real deal, man. Yeah, I agree with that, D, man. This could be a championship in his future. Yeah, maybe even this year. Think about it. They could get up there if they win the Big Ten. I mean, we'll see how he plays. It's still early in the season for the Big Ten, so let's let it play out a little bit. West Virginia. Listen, pay attention to this team. I know their record isn't that good, but they're proven to be one of the best bets at home. They're 6-2 ATS on the year, 4-0 ATS at home. Now they get a break this week, so no game for them, and face an Oklahoma team at home. Should be a doozy. Let's pay attention to that one. We'll probably talk about it next week. Well, again, there might be a bet on the app or on our website. Coastal Carolina, still making us money, but didn't get any from them last week because they didn't play due to COVID. Thank you. Tough play, though, this week as they battle App State. This team just can't beat App. They haven't, and now have to cover a big spread. I mean, this could be a letdown game. So I don't know if we're going to have any units on it this game. We're not going to stay hot with this. It's not a hot trendy because they didn't play last week. Bama's back finally. Now they get Kentucky at home. Big number to cover, though, 30. We're not going to do anything with this. Again, teams have been playing relatively well off their COVID buys and covering. So, again, this is a tough spot. Clemson, Goldilocks, Mr. Lawrence back to action and has a nice matchup to kind of get back on track against Florida State. But big number, 35.5 they got to cover. It's too strong for us. It's too strong. But that's it. That's it. Before we get to our picks, a little NFL talk before we get into it. I don't know. Last week, I think it was Brett Farve, right? Your man crush. But we'll get into that there, Larry. But he loves some CBD. He was on First Take, just randomly. They were asking him questions about stuff, and he just.
I'm in the CBD world, like Gronkowski.
Okay.
I would have never thought. I would have never thought I would have been a part of it because I assumed that it was marijuana. My knowledge as far as CBD was very limited, but it's not marijuana. What I am advocating is certainly not a drug at all. It works.
This was great.
I've used it. I trained for a half marathon almost a year ago, believe it or not. And you can imagine how that felt after doing a day of 8-mile run, a 12-mile run. And so I used it, and it worked. And that sold me on it.
Guys,
yes. So supposedly he's this ambassador. He has like a brand that he works with. Same with Gronk. But this kind of came out of nowhere. But you know what? I love it. I'm all about it. If it's natural and it helps athletes, to relieve their pain and get over it quicker. I mean, especially from using hardcore painkillers. But again, Locksmith, I had to talk about it. It's your man crush. I thought it was hilarious. And now, now you get your man crush with a joint in hand, with those bulging Wrangler jeans. Is it Wrangler? Is it Wrangler or Levi's? Do you know that? Yeah, man, it's Wranglers, man. See, I knew you knew that. That's what they call a setup. I knew you knew that. You love those commercials, right? Just a bunch of older dudes, playing tackle football. Yeah. Anyways, before shit gets weird, Farve loves some dope. The Wizard smoke, the Chiba, a little bit of that funky call Medina, the Reaper. All right, man, we get where you're going. We know what that is. Let's move on. All right, we will. I just thought I put that piece in there for you. I knew you'd like it. Another fun, some more fun facts that came up in the world of the NFL. Antonio Brown, of course, always in the headlines when he gets back on a team because people just love throwing out all the shit that he has to give. Literally tearing shit up. Literally. Did we not call this? I mean, probably the whole world called this. I mean, he's vandalizing. Like, petty vandalism. Yeah, man, that's pretty sad what he's doing. This is the shit you do when you're a young teen. I mean, not even all teens, but that's the shit you do. Like, breaking video cameras. I mean, was he, what else was he doing out there? Was he keying cars, too? Leaving shit on people's doorstep? I mean, really, this guy, he's got to have the mental capacity of a fucking 10-year-old. I mean, man, millions of dollars wasted on your fucking shenanigans. I mean, we love it. We really don't care. Do what you want. I mean, we're going to talk about it. You fuck up your own career, and we'll talk about it. But besides that, the NFL, we had a good week. We're doing better with our picks in the college right now. But, again, we've done good the last couple weeks. So let's, if you got anything you want to talk about, Locksmith, probably not until we get to your pick. But let's go to the Big Ten. Saturday, showdown, 12 p.m. Indiana, number 10 at number 3, Ohio State. Minus 21 at home, over-under sitting at 65. Big matchup, Big Ten, big points, big spread. Indiana travels to an empty shoe off a great win and having a great season. 4-0 SU, 4-0 ATS, 8-2 ATS the last 10. Ohio State off a COVID bye, and we've talked about this. They get to regroup, face their toughest match yet. By toughest, we mean their offensive ability, and that of Indiana. This Penix Jr. guy. We talk about this guy all the time. He's having a great season in the air and on the ground with a QB rating of 136.5. This should pose problems to an average Ohio State defense, they might get caught looking ahead at their back-to-back schedule coming up of road games. I mean, if you haven't caught where we're going with this, we do like the Hoosiers and the over. Ohio State is probably one of the best offenses in the league, if not the best. Averaging 46.3 a game, 511 yards. They'll be well prepared offensively. I mean, this has shootout written all over it, as both teams are below average run teams and will look to the air. This game between these two has gone over the last 3. I mean, Hoosiers, they'll be prepared to match this potent offense of the Buckeyes. And they'll have an arsenal ready. This means trick plays, going for it on 4th down, and they're going to be game planning for that 4th down. Right? I mean, let's get to the spread. By our numbers, we think the Bucs will win, yes. But by a margin of, say, 15 or 16. Ohio State did stop them last year, right? But it was early in the year. Indiana has progressed since last year. And now they have the Penix guy. They do. Besides, Indiana has covered the last 7-9, 5-0 ATS, the last 5 in the shoe. Sorry, the last 7 of 9 versus each other, right? 5-0 ATS, the last 5 in the shoe. The road team here is 4-0 ATS in the last 4. Let's look at some over trends. Overs, 5-0-1 in Buckeyes' last 6 games after accumulating more than 450 yards in their previous. 6-1 in Buckeyes' last 7 games in November. Overs 3-1 in the Hoosiers' last 4. Again, now play the best damn offense in the league. Overs 18-3 in the Hoosiers' last 21 games after following a straight-up win of more than 20 points. Expect a little rush, big pass, big interceptions, big points, and a somewhat close Big Ten showdown. We're thinking 48-35. Take the Hoosiers, take the over, and lock it up, Larry. Next up, so we have Michigan State, Maryland on the board. Again, we're going to talk about this real quick because it is to be determined. I don't know if they're going to play the game. Still up in the air. But I feel this is the best position for Maryland. Got off a bye, which they would have lost to Ohio State. Now get an extra week to study a team that scored 7 points total in 2 games. Yes, we've talked about Rocky Lombardi from Michigan State. We love this guy. But, again, they don't have a good team, good coach around them yet. Again. But it seems, like him and this coach, him and this new coach, they feel like they've won the season because they beat Michigan. So keep an eye here. That's all we're saying. Lean on Maryland. Next up, Saturday at 12 p.m., Louisiana State, LSU at Arkansas. A little bit of I'm going to put a warning out there. This is a COVID bye. As we talked about, Arkansas minus the points. Listen to that again. You may never see that again between these two teams. When's the last time they were favored? Larry, fact check that, please. Yes, sir. What a shit show hangover LSU is. Really. Probably the worst in sports history after a championship. Larry, you know what? Fact check that too. I don't know. I don't know if that is true, but fact checked if that's like the worst comeback or worst season after a championship. 10-4, man. You know what? Actually, don't. I don't need people knowing that I'm wrong or making shit up. You do that quite a bit, though, man. It is possible, but that's why I have you, Locksmith. Fact check that shit. Really, man? What do you want me to do? No, don't. But seriously, don't. But man, you bipolar and shit, man. What's going on? Again, another possibility. Let's move on. Less facts, more picks, please. Again, we want this spread by just looking at it. It's just weird, right? It's weird. -1.5 Arkansas against LSU, against the national champs, defending champs. It's weird. But you know what? Let's dig in. Tigers, they haven't played since Halloween. Lost their starting quarterback. Didn't have enough players to play Bama. Now no practice. Will probably not return to practice until today, Thursday. The players did receive workouts to do in quarantine, but the extended time off possibly affected their conditioning, right? Listen, Arkansas by no means is impressive, but they're on the incline with the new coach, Sam Pittman, who's creating a new culture there of winning with blue-collar style players. Arkansas only garnered, 10 seasons above 500 since 2000, but they're sitting at 3-4, and they know what this game means to them and the new coach. On top of this, they got to be the much more motivated team. The numbers lean their way, and through, I mean, even it probably won't even in this matchup. But Larry, I mean, did you find those stats? Yeah, man. 2014, Arkansas was -1 and won 17-0. Wow. So we kind of expect a similar score with our models. But as I was saying, the numbers here: Tigers 3-10 ATS in their last 13 meetings against them. Tigers are 1-5 ATS in their last 6 meetings in Arkansas. I mean, eat the small points here. This is literally going to be like fighting somebody extremely hungover. Better yet, like fighting your younger brother hungover or extremely shit-faced, right? I think that's what we're getting.
Doc, none of us can remember anything from last night. Remember?
Lock it up. Let's take the home team -1.5. Next up on the slate, sorry, give me some volume there. We have another 12 p.m. game Saturday. So a bunch of early games we got. Wake Forest at Duke. Duke getting 4.5 points at home. Wake is a team we've been high on since the beginning of last season. But we thought they would take a step back after their star quarterback, Jamie Newman. He opted out this year for the draft. Or maybe a transfer. I don't even know what the hell he's doing. But he was great last year. But they haven't stepped back. They really haven't. They're sitting at 4-3. Not impressive, but they've had a tough schedule and close games. Just lost a shootout to North Carolina. 53-59. Who is highly touted and proven it under Mac Brown this season, North Carolina. Now they beat Virginia. They beat Virginia Tech. Lost to NC State by 3. Covered the first game against Clemson. In fact, 6-1 ATS on the season. And covered their last 5 straight. They rank in the top 30 in about every offensive category except for rush yards, which they only sit at 53. That's pretty good. Averaging 176 per game. Not too shabby. No, it's not. I mean, let's talk about Newman's replacement, QB Sam Hartman, who's on track to almost have a better year, but COVID, the games, not exactly. Through 7 games, ATDs, 1,682 yards, no interceptions. Let me repeat that. No INTs. Had 429 yards, 4 TDs, and 173.9 passer rating against North Carolina. This guy is sick. Duke, on the other hand, complete opposite when it comes to the QB position. This Chase Bryce guy, 7 for 12 TD interception ratio, which doesn't bode well against a Wake team that, listen to this, is ranked 2nd nationally in turnovers. 2nd. Bryce's 54.3 passer rating won't be able to keep up with the efficiency of Hartman here. He will not be able to. They've won and covered the last 3 or 4 in this matchup. Road team is 4-1 ATS in the last 5 meetings. Eat the small little rinky-dink points with the much better Deacon Demons offense. Lock it up. I believe we got one more in the college football. Cincinnati sitting at number 7 at Central Florida. This could be a good matchup. Central Florida getting 5 points. It's already up from 3 points, so the Sharps are all over this early. I mean, this is basically defense versus offense. Well, not really, because the Bear Kittens, or actually we can't say the Bear Kittens, because we can say the Cats this year, because they have an explosive offense to follow that great defense. They're ranked 13th nationally in points scored, 41.6, 14th in the rush, 21 in total yards, yes. On the other hand, UCF ranks number 1 in total yards and pass yards, but the competition hasn't been there, and this will be the toughest test defensively they've faced all year. Cincinnati's allowing a whopping 12 points per game. They've had a similar strength of schedule, okay. But the key is, Cincy is covering and stomping those teams that they're both playing at 5-2 ATS on the season. UCF is not. They're 2-5 ATS, and they've had to keep games close, as their D is not great at all. It ranks near the hundreds in every category. Listen, on the surface, you look at this, seems like a shootout. But this will be one-sided, and UCF will be lucky to get over 3 TDs. Should be like a 41-20 game. I mean, UCF will be amped to take on a number 7 team in the country, but Cincy is amped to be at number 7. And an away win against a good team, they could jump up into that 4th spot. More likely 5 or 6, but they could with a little help. The favorite here is 4-1 ATS in the last 5 meetings. The Bearcats, 8-2 their last 10 ATS. UCF is 4-6 ATS in their last 10. Cincy, under Luke Fickell, last season, 8-5 ATS and 7-5 ATS the prior season. They're just getting better and better every year. Take the better team, better coach, much better defense. Bearcats, -5. So I take it, Larry, you're not our SEC connoisseur this week, are you? You're not doing any college? No, man, I got a good NFL one. I do, man. I got a good one for you. All right. Do you want to do it now, or are you not ready? Okay, we'll go on. NFL, let's start with probably the game of the week here. Cincinnati at Washington. How about them apples? Let's stay right here in Cincinnati, right? Yeah, game of the week. I think it's safe to say these two are in completely different divisions, right? Maybe leagues. Excuse me. Should we put the NFC East like in the Canadian Football League or AFL? I mean, just an embarrassment. But this does play into our bet, so we like Cincy here. Simple. Not only strength of schedule, but how they've played those teams. Yes, the Bungles got slaughtered by Pitt, okay, but we all expected that. They beat Tennessee. Lost to Cleveland by, only 3 points? Indy by 4. Chargers by 3. These are tough teams. Looks like Mixon could return and could be healthy, but it looks like it still might be a game time decision. I mean, but still without him, they've been making money at the window for us. Sitting at 6-3 ATS on the year. Okay, I know what you're going to say here. Alex Smith for Washington. Whoop-de-fucking-doo-ha. Yeah, he had a great game. 38 for 55, 375 yards, mixing it up to all the receivers. But, you didn't win. And no TDs. You didn't get a win against lowly Detroit. Safe to say, right? Yeah, Detroit's not that good. They got some playmakers, but nothing special as usual. I mean, how long... Let's get into Detroit for just a second. How long has Stafford been there now? 2010, 2009, somewhere around there? And he holds some records, too. Stafford was the 4th quarterback in NFL history to throw for over 5,000 yards in a single season. Being one of 3 players to do it in 2011, right? Was the fastest player in NFL history to reach 40,000 yards. He did it in 147 games. I mean, these are good records. He holds the NFL record for most comeback wins in a season. He recorded 8 in 2016. He also had Megatron for how many years? Nothing. I mean, it's like, can we call it the curse of Detroit? Or shall we say the curse of Lake Erie, maybe? I mean, that's freaking eerie. That's eerie. Think about it. Let's think about this. Detroit, Cleveland, Buffalo. Detroit with its megastars, Barry Sanders, Megatron, did nothing with them. Cleveland, longest playoff drought right now. Before that, it was Buffalo. Cleveland also, the drive, Bernie versus Elway, the fumble, Ernest Biner on the goal line in the AFC Championship. Back to the Bills, obviously the 4 Super Bowl losses in a row. That's some eerie shit. That's just tough to say, 4 losses, 4 Super Bowl. Now, though, the Bills have progressed. Browns are winning games, which is a start. LeBron brought home a championship to Cleveland. But Detroit.
It could be worse, though. At least we're not Detroit. We're not Detroit.
Yeah, man. Nothing. But back to the game here. Back to the game. I'm sorry. Yeah, I had to spill my beans on Detroit, and I apologize. Back to the game. Okay, yeah, Alex Smith will be Alex Smith. He's done it his whole career. MVP one week, 128 yards, 3 picks the next. I mean, this will be a close one. But Burrow, 10 games in now, he's battle-tested and just off the toughest probably team of the year that they played against in Pittsburgh in that defense. Washington might get caught slipping here with a Turkey Day game coming up against Dallas. Yeah, I know. It's a division game. What a great game. Fuck. At least they're putting the Pitt Baltimore game on later on Thanksgiving. So thank you for that. But yeah, they got a big matchup. That's a big matchup because they could win the division possibly. Listen, Washington still has a chance. We all know that, okay? With 2 wins. But short week, divisional game, they're going to get caught slipping. Take the battle-tested Burrow to bounce back and show off the number 2 pick. Yeah, Chase Young. He's going to show him why he was number 1. Take it. Bengals plus the measly 1. By now, it's probably a pick 'em, but you know what? We'll take him -3 if we have to. That's right, man. That boy Chase Young, man, he's back from injury and playing well, man. Be careful, though, man. This Washington D is quietly good. They're 4th in the nation overall. Yes, I know, but I think we can say that ranking is due to the division that they're in. Right? Yeah, man, touche. These may not be playoff teams, but I kind of want to watch this one. Yeah, I do, too. I think it'll be fun to watch if it was the only game on. But let's move on. Oh, you want to do your pick now? You're going to do your pick? All right, go right ahead. Where are we going to? Oh, man, I'm going to the best coach in football history, man. New England at Houston. Texans, man, they're getting 2 points at home. At this point, though, man, does Houston just call it quits, man? They lost to the Browns? Nah, man. Players don't do that. But I can't see them being that motivated. When you're on the field, man, you start losing. You're like, man, here we go again. Man, there's no way Belichick loses to interim coach Romeo, his old partner in crime there at the Patriots, old Romeo. Like Cam said, man, play this clip, man. Play it. Remember, do you hear this, man? The Cam was talking about old Belichick. Yeah, I think so. I'll put it on here for you.
I'm beginning to think he either has like a Staples Easy button or a Buffalo Wild Wings button or just a straight direct line to the football guys because he's like a football whisperer when it comes to anticipating what the game's going to be like, how we need to win, and things like that.
Okay, man, he's right, man. He talks to the football guys. He does, man, and football whisperer, man. Yeah, Romeo, he doesn't talk to them, man. He don't talk to them people, man. He don't talk to them guys, man. Simple. Take the points with Belichick, man. Yeah, man. That I'd have to say, I almost want to hear that clip again. That's a great clip, and it's even better what he was wearing if you guys didn't catch that. But I'll agree. I'll put it on the board. New England playing some scrappy ball and getting some wins. Won the last two. If it wasn't for that fumble against Buffalo, I will say this: they'd be 3-0 SU, 2-3 ATS. Well, they already are 2-3 ATS in the last three. But now they might get Gilmore back. Which is a huge pickup for that defense. I mean, Billy Boy owns this team. He's 8-2 SU, the last 10, 6-3 and 1 ATS against the Texans. And listen to these ATS trends. Texans 1-9 and 1 ATS in their last 11, following an ATS win. All right, yeah, because they did cover last week. 1-7 ATS in their last 8 games as an underdog. 1-5 in their last 6 games after accumulating less than 250 yards. I mean, it seems easy. Really, it's not easy, but we like this one. We like it a lot. I like it too, Larry. So go ahead and lock it up. Moving on. Hot Atlanta at New Orleans. New Orleans -5. Already shot down 2 points because no breeze. No breeze, no bet. Now, this line, it says a lot still. Atlanta off a bye on a 2-game win streak. What gives? Well, we, just as the odd makers, believe that the Saints are just as good, if not better, without Breeze. The Saints haven't named a starter yet, but I'm sure they'll be resting their hopes on either Taysom Hill or, former Tampa Bay quarterback, Jameis Winston. Which we believe they'll both get time, which is hard to game plan for if you're Atlanta. Hill is such a dynamic runner, receiver, tight end, passer. He should see plenty of time here. And Winston, on the other hand, is a very capable QB. He just gets a bad rap with, all the interceptions. But I don't think he'll play enough to post really any, if not one. I don't know. Whoever's in should have a field day, though. The Falcons' passing defense, allowing 322 passing yards per contest. 302 passing yards 2 weeks ago against Denver. They will also have trouble with the run game against the game's best. Kamara, Latavius Murray. The Falcons' defense, they're allowing 99 rush yards a game. Gave up 103 to Denver. Again, I'll say it. Those aren't really highly ranked passing team or rushing team. They're not. Listen, Matt Ryan, okay, and the boys, they have been clicking lately, but to go against a Saints defense that is solid, allowing 7 points a game, 5th best, 308 yards total offense per contest, the Saints also have 24 sacks. I think they're going to cause all sorts of trouble for Ryan, as Ryan has already been sacked 19 times this season. Look at the Tampa Bay game. Saints won, 38-3? It was like 38-3. And Ryan is the same style QB as Tom is, and not as good. He's slow, old, pocket passer, a dying breed, pretty much. I think the Saints defense they're going to step up in a big way for their falling hero, Breeze, right? And that's going to cause the Falcons all sorts of trouble. Winston, Hill, Sean Payton, they're going to find a way to score often, as they normally do. Look at last year when Breeze went down. Bridgewater dominated. But let's not give that all to Bridgewater. Don't give him all the credit. That's good coaching. That's also good next man up mentality for the team. Take the home team. But maybe wait, because the public will be all over the Falcons, we believe. Off a bye and no Breeze. It's a quick look, and this could go down some more. So you might be able to buy it at 4 or 3. Falcons, ATS numbers, not so great. 6-20 in their last 26 games after allowing more than 250 yards passing in their previous game. 2-11 in their last 13 after scoring more than 30 points in their previous. Saints, on the other hand, 7-0 in their last 8 games after accumulating less than 250 yards. Which they did in the last game, but they still won. 6-1 ATS versus a team with a losing record. Let's take the points here, but let's wait. Sorry, not take the points. Eat the points. We're eating them.
Get in my belly!
We shall. Oh, another good game. Actually, it is. You know what? I do like this game because lately I've been liking Minnesota and watching them. Playing some good ball. Dallas, Minnesota. Minnesota -7. This is a hot trendy, we like to call. Right? A hot trendy. Minimal research, hot trends. We're sticking with it. I mean, not much needs to be said here, right? It's Dallas. They suck. Minnesota, good. Really. Cowboys suck. Vikings, good. It's really simple. Dallas, 1-8 ATS on the season, and they have like 1 billion ATS stats that say stay the fuck away from them right now. Vikings, I'll say yes. Hot trendy. Again, 3-0 SU ATS the last 3. They're 6-1 ATS on the year. Or I'm sorry, the last 7. On the move now. And they have arguably the best running game in football. Dalvin Cook, if you haven't heard, coming off a nice Monday night win, which Kirk Cousins has never won. He's never won. Never won. What is it?
You like that? You like that?
Yeah, we like it. I mean, Cook, also, Dalvin Cook put up almost 100 yards against a good Chicago defense. I mean, really, let's stay with the hot team, SU, ATS. Let's look for a dominating win here. I mean, Vikings are 22-9 ATS in their last 31 home games versus a team with a losing road record. The Vikes are pumped. And the boys, the Cowboys, not so much. 35-16, Vikings sail. All right, let's. I think that's about it for our picks. That was a good 8 of them. But let's look at some slight leans and some other games for you. Tonight's Arizona-Seattle game. I think it's a really tough bet here with the direction both teams have been going lately. I mean, Seattle, to lose 3 in a row would be crazy, right? But their D, they can't hold. And that's tough to fix in a short week. And it's tough to come off of 2 losses in a short week. Going up against the best running QB in the league is going to be tough. Excuse us, sir. It paused on us there. We still there? All right, let's get back. Sorry, I have a little technical difficulties there, but I mean, you got to think. Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. They're off that crazy catch, and yeah, man, I didn't want to talk about this, but maybe I need to get off my checks. You know, the whole Bills game. I'm burying. I wanted to bury that one deep in the noggin. Hopefully erase any memory. Sorry, man, but that catch, man, is going down in history. Maybe one of the best. I mean, did you see it? All right, Larry, that's enough. Yes. If you're a first-time listener, I am a Bills fan, but you know what? The Bills did cover that game. And you know what? The storyline would have read, Josh Allen, savior of Western New York. I mean, really, let's talk that last drive he had. There was 40 seconds left. They came by, threw a touchdown. Game was over, at least everybody thought, okay? But completely different storylines if that would have gone the other way. But let's go back, okay? This could, I don't know how Arizona reacts. This could really pump you up, or maybe they come out sluggish, but we don't think so. Small lean on Arizona here. I mean, this wouldn't be a good tease with Arizona because it's just the state of Seattle. Just, I don't feel they're coming off. I feel they're going to struggle in this game. Pitt's Jags. Pitt -10. My gut, my intuition, my sports knowledge says Steelers, but they play down. And sitting at 9-0, trip to Florida, small chance of anyone else winning that division. Go against a 1-8 team, that Minshew might be back on. They could come out flat. No bet here, no lean, and definitely not watching this. Well, if it gets close, I'll watch it. Detroit, Carolina. Carolina set at -3. No Bridgewater, no McCaffrey, no bet, but wait on those reports. We're not sure of it yet. Kansas City, Las Vegas. This should be another good one. But this is a Sunday night AFC West battle. Yeah. I think it's a great spot for the Chiefs here. Off a bye. Get to enact revenge for their only loss. So my homie, he's going to tear up Vegas. Lean on the Chiefs off a bye here. We have to. Listen, these games, these predictions are all on the app. Okay? Get them. Make it easy on yourself. Quick analysis, right? You'd be able to pick it up with a click of a button. Capper's Cave. I think that's all we have. I'm your host, Lorenzo de Costa. This is Capper's Cave. Free picks and shit. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook. Find us out there. Get more picks. We're out.